Hello, Momentum staff. How are you doing? I hope you guys had amazing Labor Day. Relax with your family. Hey, we want to give you kind of the idea of where we're going tomorrow and what we're doing. I'm sure you've all started studying, but just kind of wanted to give you an overview as you go in tomorrow. Again, you'll get an extended period of small group time. A small teaching up front, maybe 10 to 15 minutes just to get the discussion going. But you'll have an hour and 15 minutes in your small group. So make sure you keep with the different criteria that we've asked you to keep with. Authentic prayer, we want you to really dig into prayer. One, we want you to talk about those missional lists that we talk about, either missional groups, their friends, their unbelieving friends, and what they're doing with those friends. So make sure you're keeping them in accountability. Also, I would throw in there, see how they're doing with their scripture reading. If they're in the scriptures, if they're reading, so you want to connect with them there and see how they're doing overall. Give them some encouragement, some hope, something like that. So, let me go over this week's lesson. Really, it comes out of the prodigal son, Luke 15:11 through 32. And it really is highlighting what the gospel is all about. This is one of my favorite stories, and I think the reason why is it gives a picture of God that we don't necessarily have in our minds, or we brought up that way. I surely wasn't. And it's this idea that the son kind of goes away, but that the father runs to him, kisses him, which a patriarch, a father, would have never done back then, and then restores to him everything that was rightfully his as a family member. And that as we, people who don't know Jesus, come to know Christ, it's like that prodigal son who leaves, comes back, everything that's been restored to us from the beginning of time, the things that were meant to us, who we are as a child of the King, all those kind of things. So I think with momentum, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to play that story out for them really well. So I think there's a couple suggestions. One, I think acting it out is always a really good thing rather than just reading it. So maybe you read it, and as you read it, the kids act it out. And then you really landing on what the gospel theme is through that whole thing, being that that's what we're talking about. So really that gospel theme is that God is really this God that's not angry or punching, that he's really this God who awaits. You remember the passage where he says he stands at the door and he knocks. Okay, he's really this God who waits, anticipates us coming. And then if you refer back to the first in Luke 15, at the end there, at the first, I think it's within the first 8 verses or something, first 7 or 8 verses, he really gives what goes on is that when a person comes to know Jesus, when the lost sheep is found, all of heaven rejoices. And that's kind of the summary of all of Luke 15. And that's the gospel. That's what we want to say. When people come to know Jesus, all heaven celebrates, and that's really his desire within this story. So anyway, as you go do that, make sure you're asking really good questions. I know they have some here on your sheet. As I've told you before, I'd really love for you guys to just use this introductory page, which is kind of like an outline. Develop your own. Use the detailed outline kind of as a reference, but really kind of develop your own. So anyway, look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I thank you for all you do. Really, really excited for what God's going to do through you and your small groups this year. Talk to you. Bye.